Here is a list of some fascinating facts about the Northern Bobwhite. Northern Bobwhites are the only quail native to eastern North America. They are named for their distinct bobwhite call, which is often heard in the spring and summer. Males and females have different facial markings. Males have a white throat and eye stripe, while females have a buff-colored one. Northern Bobwhites are ground-dwelling birds, spending most of their time on the ground. They prefer habitats with a mix of open fields, grasslands, and forests. These quail are monogamous, often pairing with a single mate per season. A group of Northern Bobwhites is called a covey. Coveys typically consist of 8 to 25 birds that roost together in a tight circle. Bobwhites roost with tails pointing outward to help detect predators. They are short-distance flyers and only fly when necessary, preferring to escape by running. Northern Bobwhites feed on seeds, insects, and fruits. They play an important role in controlling insect populations. These birds are popular game birds, prized for hunting in the southern United States. Northern Bobwhites lay large clutches of 12 to 16 eggs. Both parents take turns incubating the eggs. Their eggs hatch after about 23 days of incubation. Chicks are precocial, meaning they can move and feed shortly after hatching. Northern Bobwhites can raise multiple broods per year. The Northern Bobwhite population has been declining due to habitat loss. They are one of the few bird species that benefit from controlled burns, which improve their habitats. They prefer habitats with 25 to 75% bare ground for easier movement and feeding. They rely heavily on camouflage to avoid predators. Their primary predators include hawks, foxes, and snakes. Bobwhites have excellent vision but rely more on hearing for alertness. They are found across the US, Mexico, and the Caribbean. Males perform courtship displays by puffing up and strutting around females. They typically live for 1 to 2 years in the wild, though some may survive longer. Northern Bobwhites are known for their seasonal migrations in some northern ranges. They can survive on a variety of food sources, adapting to seasonal availability. Bobwhites consume grit, such as sand and small pebbles, to aid digestion. In winter, they tend to form larger coveys for warmth and protection. Habitat management programs often focus on bobwhite conservation. In captivity, Northern Bobwhites are raised for hunting and stocking game reserves. They serve as prey for many raptors, especially during winter when cover is minimal. Bobwhites are highly social and rely on coveys for protection. They are also known as Virginia quail. Northern Bobwhites are found in diverse habitats, from prairies to pine forests. During courtship, males may emit a low, drumming sound. Bobwhites are susceptible to many diseases, including avian influenza. Their body length ranges from 9 to 11 inches. Their wingspan averages about 13 to 15 inches. These birds weigh around 5 to 6 ounces. Bobwhites have a mottled brown, white, and black coloration, ideal for blending in. Their primary diet in summer consists of insects like grasshoppers and beetles. Seeds and grains become their primary food source in winter. They are most active at dawn and dusk. Bobwhites are more common in areas with sandy soil. They are named after their characteristic vocalization, unique among quail species. They engage in dust baths to remove parasites and maintain feather health. The oldest recorded Northern Bobwhite lived over 6 years in the wild. Some subspecies, like the Florida Bobwhite, are adapted to specific regions. Males may sing more than 20 times per minute during peak calling periods. During the nesting season, females often build their nests close to the ground. Bobwhite nests are typically well hidden under vegetation. These nests are made from grass and lined with finer materials for insulation. Northern Bobwhites have a short, rounded wingspan for quick takeoff. Covey size can influence their success in surviving winter. Their population has declined by over 85% in some areas since the 1960s. Bobwhites are heavily studied due to their ecological significance. They are vulnerable to habitat fragmentation and urban development. Young bobwhites are called cheepers due to their chirping calls. Bobwhite parents will brood their young by sheltering them under their wings. Males defend their nesting territory with calls and displays. Their call can be heard up to half a mile away. The Northern Bobwhite is a symbol of early successional ecosystems. Conservation efforts include planting native grasses to enhance their habitat. Bobwhites are resilient to seasonal changes but struggle in severe weather. They play an important role in dispersing seeds through their droppings. Northern Bobwhites are among the most commonly hunted upland birds in the U.S. Their presence is often used as an indicator of habitat quality in grassland regions.